Solid waste management. Principles, practices, and local solutions. Why take this course? Proper solid waste management is essential for safeguarding public health, preserving the environment, and ensuring sustainable urban development. This course equips participants with the knowledge and tools to effectively manage waste from generation and collection to disposal and recovery. Whether you're in government, private sector, or civil society, this course empowers you to contribute to a cleaner, healthier future. Who needs this course? Environmental health officers, local government staff, waste management contractors, facility managers, school and university administrators, urban planners and engineers, community development workers, environmental NGOs, students of environmental science and engineering, learning outcomes. By the end of this course, participants will be able to understand the key components of solid waste management, identify the types and sources of solid wastewater, apply waste segregation, reduction, reuse, and recycling practices, evaluate collection, transportation, treatment, and disposal systems, understand legal frameworks and policies on waste in Nigeria, design and implement local, practical waste management strategies, recognize challenges and solutions in solid waste governance, table of contents, course modules, introduction to solid waste management, types and sources of solid waste, waste generation and characterization, waste segregation, storage and collection, transportation and transfer of waste, waste treatment technologies, final D, disposal methods, landfilling and incineration, reduce, reuse, recycle, 3Rs, and circular economy, health, environmental, and social impacts of poor waste management, solid waste management laws and policies in Nigeria, Lagos State Waste Management Authority, roles and regulations, private sector participation and informal waste sector, community-based waste management approaches, solid waste planning, monitoring, and data management, challenges and innovations in waste management in Nigeria. Case studies, successful waste management in Lagos and beyond. Action planning, designing a local waste management strategy. Module 1, Introduction to Solid Waste Management. Overview. Solid waste management is the process of collecting, treating, and disposing of solid materials in a safe, environmentally sound manner. It is essential for public health, sustainable development, and environmental protection. Key topics. What is solid waste? Goals of solid waste management. Nigeria's urban waste crisis, with Lagos as a focus. Global best practices versus local realities. Highlight. Lagos generates over 13,000 metric tons of waste daily without effective management. This contributes to flooding, air pollution, and public health issues. Module 2, Types and Sources of Solid Waste. Overview. Solid waste varies by origin and composition. Proper classification helps in choosing suitable disposal or recovery methods. Types of solid waste. Municipal household, market waste, industrial, biomedical, agricultural, e-waste, construction and demolition. C and D. Waste. 1. Municipal solid waste, MSW. These are wastes generated by households, markets, offices, schools, and public spaces. They are the most common and diverse types of waste in urban settings. Examples: leftover food, vegetable peels, plastic bottles, nylon bags, paper, cardboard, broken glass, packaging waste, used clothes, Lagos context. Markets like Mile 12 generate tons of organic waste daily, while residential areas produce a mix of food, plastic, and paper waste. 2. Industrial waste. Generated by factories and processing industries, these wastes may include hazardous or non-hazardous materials, depending on the industry. Examples: scrap metal, chemical residues, packaging from raw materials, paint sludge, used oils. Note: some industrial wastes require special treatment due to their toxic or corrosive nature. 3. Biomedical healthcare waste. Waste from hospitals, clinics, laboratories, and pharmacies. These are potentially infectious or hazardous and require safe disposal to protect public health. Examples: used syringes, gloves, and IV bags, blood-soaked bandages, expired medications, pathological waste, body parts, tissues. Regulation. These are regulated under Nigeria's National Healthcare Waste Management Policy and must be segregated and incinerated safely. 4. Agricultural waste. Produced through farming activities. This type of waste is mostly organic but can be bulky or seasonal. Examples: crop residues, for example, maize husks, cassava peels, poultry droppings and animal dung, spoiled produce, agrochemical containers. Reuse potential, often composted or used in biogas production if properly managed. 5. Electronic waste. E-waste. E-waste includes discarded electronic appliances and gadgets, many of which contain toxic substances like lead or mercury. Examples: old phones, laptops, and TVs, batteries, circuit boards, fridge and air conditioner parts. Lagos reality. Places like Computer Village and Ikeja are major sources of e-waste due to constant device upgrades and repairs. 6. Construction and demolition. C and D. Waste. Generated during building, renovation, or demolition. These are bulky and heavy materials that often clog drainage or end up in illegal dump sites. Examples: concrete, bricks, and wood, broken tiles and glass, iron rods, plaster, paint cans, and construction debris. Challenge: most C and D waste in Lagos is not recycled, though it can be crushed and reused in road construction or landscaping. Module 3. Waste Generation and Characterization. Understanding how much and what kind of waste is generated helps inform planning. To design and manage a successful waste management system, we first need to understand how much waste is produced and what types of waste are being generated. This process is known as waste characterization. It involves analyzing the volume, sources, types, and seasonal trends of waste produced in a specific area. Without accurate data on waste generation, government agencies, private collectors, and policymakers cannot make informed decisions on collection routes, treatment infrastructure, or recycling efforts. In urban centers like Lagos, where rapid population growth, lifestyle changes, and economic factors drive high waste volumes, characterizing waste is essential to reduce inefficiencies, prevent environmental degradation, and improve health outcomes. 1. Factors influencing waste generation. Several factors affect the amount and type of waste people produce. These include income level. Higher income households tend to generate more packaging, waste plastics, cans, while lower income households produce more organic waste. Urbanization. Urban areas like Lagos have higher consumption patterns, fast food habits, and produce more e-waste and plastic waste than rural areas. Cultural practices. Community celebrations, religious festivals, and eating habits impact waste patterns. For instance, holidays often produce spikes in food and packaging waste. 2. Waste audits and composition analysis. A waste audit is a systematic process to measure and categorize the types of waste generated in a facility, household, or neighborhood. It involves collecting, sorting, weighing, and documenting all waste types over a defined period, daily, weekly. Results show what percentage of waste is biodegradable, for example, food, recyclable plastics, paper, or hazardous batteries, medical waste. Lagos authorities and private PSPs rarely conduct detailed waste audits, leading to planning gaps. 3. Seasonal variations in waste output. Waste generation is not consistent throughout the year. Rainy season, higher risk of waterlogged waste and blocked drainage from improperly disposed plastics. Festive seasons, for example, December Eve, sharp increase in food, clothing, and gift-related waste. Market days. Produce markets like Mile 12 experience major waste spikes on delivery days. 4. Per capita waste. Generation kg divided by person divided by day. This is a metric that tells us how much waste each person generates on average per day. It is crucial for designing waste systems for large populations. Lagos estimate. Residents generate between 0.5 1.2 kilograms divided by person divided by day, depending on the neighborhood. This means that a community of 100,000 people could generate up to 120 metric tons of waste daily. Module 4. Waste segregation, storage, and collection. Segregating waste at source improves recycling rates and reduces landfill pressure. Effective waste management begins at the source where waste is generated. When waste is properly segregated, stored, and collected, it becomes easier to recycle, reduces pressure on landfills, and prevents environmental hazards like flooding and disease outbreaks. This module emphasizes the importance of separating waste into different categories, using proper storage methods, and ensuring reliable and organized collection systems. In cities like Lagos, where mixed waste is often dumped without separation, introducing proper systems can significantly improve recycling rates and reduce waste-related health risks. 1. Color-coded bins. Color coding makes it easy for households and businesses to separate their waste. Standard color codes include green, organic waste, food scraps, garden clippings; blue, recyclables, plastics, paper, cans; red, divided by yellow, hazardous or medical waste; black, general waste, non-recyclable residuals. Benefit: improves efficiency during recycling and reduces contamination between waste types. 2. Daily versus weekly collection schedules. The frequency of collection affects hygiene and community cooperation. Daily collection. Best for densely populated urban areas to avoid buildup of organic waste, odors, and pests. Weekly collection, suitable for low-density or rural areas with smaller volumes. Note: regular schedules build trust and encourage compliance among residents. 3. Door-to-door collection models. Instead of relying solely on communal bins, door-to-door waste collection ensures better coverage, higher compliance from residents, reduced risk of waste dumping in unauthorized places. Collection can be done by government agencies, for example, LAMA, private sector participants, PSPs, community youth or cooperatives in informal settlements. 4. Use of mobile apps and smart bins. Modern tools can make collections smarter and more efficient. Mobile apps help residents schedule pickups, report missed collections, or locate nearby bins. Examples include Waycyclers and Recycle Points. Smart bins, equipped with sensors to alert when full, improves route planning and reduces overflow. Emerging trend. Some Lagos startups are piloting these technologies in estates and business parks. Lagos case study. LAMA introduced separation at source programs in neighborhoods like Surulere and Lekki. Phase 1. Distributing color-coded bags for plastics and organics. However, results were limited because Many residents didn't understand the program. There was no sustained public education. Collection workers often mixed up the separated waste. Enforcement was weak or inconsistent. Lesson learned. For segregation systems to work, they must be backed by strong awareness campaigns, enforcement, and consistent collection support. Takeaway message. Segregating and properly storing waste at the source is the first and most important step in sustainable waste management. Cities like Lagos must combine education, innovation, and reliable services to make these practices successful at scale. Module 5. Transportation and Transfer of Waste. Efficient transportation is critical for waste flow from source to disposal. Once waste is collected, it must be efficiently transported to treatment or disposal facilities. This stage is critical because delays or disruptions in transportation lead to waste pileups, environmental pollution, and public health risks. In densely populated cities like Lagos, where roads are narrow and traffic congestion is common, efficient logistics become even more important. This module explains the key components of an effective waste transportation system and the barriers that often prevent timely waste movement in urban Nigeria. 1. Compactor trucks and their limitations. Compactor trucks are specialized vehicles designed to compress and transport large volumes of waste. Advantages: reduce waste volume, requiring fewer trips. Sealed design minimizes odors and leakage. Useful for long-distance transportation to landfills. Limitations in Lagos. Size: too large for many inner-city roads and slum areas. Turning radius: difficult to maneuver in congested or unplanned neighborhoods. Cost: expensive to maintain and repair, often grounded due to mechanical issues. Alternative: use of smaller tricycles, mini trucks, or carts in hard-to-reach areas. 2. Transfer stations as intermediary storage points. A transfer station is a local facility where waste is temporarily offloaded from collection trucks before being transported in bulk to final disposal sites. Benefits: reduces travel time for small trucks. Allows sorting or compacting before landfill delivery. Acts as a buffer during high-volume periods. Lagos example. Some LGAs operate informal transfer points, but few are properly engineered or regulated, leading to unsanitary conditions. 3. Route optimization strategies. Optimizing the paths used by waste trucks increases efficiency and reduces fuel and labor costs. Tools used: GPS tracking, waste management apps, GIS mapping, real-time traffic updates. Outcome: fewer missed pickups, lower operational costs, improved public trust in waste services. Note: many PSPs in Lagos still operate manually without route planning technology. 4. Safety and hygiene protocols. Waste transportation crews face numerous health and safety risks. Protocols should include: use of personal protective equipment, PPE. Regular vehicle sanitation. Safe handling of hazardous materials. Driver and loader training. Worker risk. Exposure to pathogens. Cuts from broken glass or sharp metal. Accidents due to poor truck conditions. Challenges in Lagos. Traffic congestion. Lagos is notorious for its gridlock. Waste trucks stuck in traffic can miss scheduled pickups, causing waste to accumulate in public spaces. Vehicle breakdown. Many trucks used by PSPs are old, poorly maintained, and frequently break down, causing service delays and increasing operational costs. Lack of transfer infrastructure. Few well-managed transfer stations exist, forcing trucks to drive long distances to landfills, which increases fuel use and driver fatigue. Road accessibility. Unpaved, flooded, or narrow roads in slum areas make waste transport difficult or impossible for large trucks. Takeaway message: Efficient waste transportation isn't just about moving garbage. It's about doing it on time, safely, and cost-effectively. In a megacity like Lagos, overcoming infrastructure and logistics challenges is key to improving the entire waste management system. Module 6. Waste Treatment Technologies. Treatment reduces waste volume and prepares it for disposal or reuse. Waste treatment is the process of altering, reducing, or recovering materials from waste before final disposal. Proper treatment helps reduce the volume and toxicity of waste, recover valuable materials or energy, and minimize the environmental impact of landfilling. In a city like Lagos that generates thousands of tons of waste daily, especially biodegradable and plastic waste, implementing effective treatment technologies is crucial for sustainability, public health, and climate action. This module covers traditional and emerging technologies being used locally and globally to manage municipal solid waste. 1. Composting. Composting is the biological decomposition of organic waste, such as food scraps, leaves, and market waste, into nutrient-rich compost used as a soil enhancer. Types: O windrow, piled in rows. O in-vessel, enclosed. O vermicomposting, with worms. Benefits: O low-tech and low-cost. O reduces landfill load. O produces valuable organic fertilizer. Lagos Insight. Loma operates a compost plant in Ikorodu and at some markets. However, lack of proper segregation limits its effectiveness. 2. Anaerobic digestion, AD, biogas production. Anaerobic digestion is the breakdown of organic waste in the absence of oxygen, producing biogas and a nutrient-rich slurry. Inputs: O food waste, O animal waste, O agricultural residues. Outputs: O biogas, used for cooking, lighting, or electricity. O digestate, used as organic fertilizer. Benefits: O provides renewable energy. O reduces greenhouse gas emissions. O ideal for market and abattoir waste. Lagos examples. Some pilot biogas digesters exist in markets like Mushin and Agege, but adoption is still very limited. 3. Incineration. Incineration involves burning waste at high temperatures, reducing its volume by up to 90%. Types: mass burn, no sorting. O refuse-derived fuel, processed waste. Pros: O quick, volume reduction. O can generate electricity, waste to energy. Cons: O high capital and operating costs. O air pollution, if not properly filtered. O not suitable for wet organic waste. Nigerian context. Incinerators are used in hospitals and some university campuses, but most are poorly maintained. 4. Mechanical biological treatment, MBT. MBT combines mechanical sorting with biological processes like composting or anaerobic digestion. Mechanical: separates recyclables, plastics, metals, paper. Biological: treats organic fraction for composting or biogas. Benefit: O, suitable for mixed waste. O can reduce landfill dependence. Challenge: O high setup cost and requires advanced technology. Limited technical expertise in Nigeria. 5. Pyrolysis and gasification. These are emerging thermal technologies used to break down waste without combustion. Pyrolysis: O heats waste in absence of oxygen to produce oil, gas, and char. Gasification: O uses limited oxygen to convert waste into syngas, can generate power. Benefits: O converts plastic and organic waste into energy. O lower emissions than incineration. Current status in Nigeria: O still experimental or at pilot scale. O some startups in Lagos and Abuja are testing plastic pyrolysis systems. Note: while composting and biogas technologies are available in Lagos, most organic waste still ends up in dump sites or landfills due to poor segregation at source, lack of public awareness, limited investment in infrastructure, inadequate policy enforcement. Module 7. Final disposal methods. Landfilling and incineration. Final disposal is necessary for non-recyclable and residual waste. Despite efforts to reduce and recycle waste, there will always be a portion that cannot be reused or treated. This residual waste must be safely disposed of in a manner that protects public health and the environment. Final disposal methods are critical for maintaining urban cleanliness, avoiding disease outbreaks, and preventing land, air, and water pollution. In Lagos, the reliance on traditional dump sites and outdated infrastructure poses significant risks. This module compares engineered and unsafe methods of disposal, while also reviewing local disposal facilities. 1. Sanitary landfills. Engineered sites. A sanitary landfill is a scientifically designed site where waste is isolated from the environment using layers of clay or plastic liners, leachate drainage systems, and gas vents. Features: daily waste covering to reduce smell and pests. Groundwater monitoring. Methane capture to prevent explosions or generate energy. Benefits: safer and more environmentally friendly. Long-term waste containment. Can be converted into parks or recreational areas after closure. Limitation: high construction and maintenance cost. Requires skilled management. 2. Open dumps. Common, but unsafe. Open dumping is the practice of disposing of waste in unregulated areas without environmental controls. Risks: air pollution from open burning. Water contamination from leachate. Breeding ground for mosquitoes and rodents. Fires and landslides, common during the rainy season. Nigerian reality. Many local government areas still use open dumps due to lack of funding and awareness. 3. Incineration. With energy recovery. Incineration is the process of burning waste at high temperatures to reduce its volume and sometimes generate electricity or heat through waste-to-energy technology. Advantages: greatly reduces volume of waste. Up to 90%. Can produce energy from waste combustion. Useful for biomedical and hazardous waste. Drawbacks: high capital and maintenance cost. Requires skilled operation. Risk of air pollution if emissions are not controlled. Use case: mostly used in hospitals and some private waste companies for burning medical waste. Lagos sites. Olusosan Landfill. Ojoda, largest dump site in West Africa, receives over 40% of Lagos's daily waste. Poorly managed and not properly engineered. Subject to fires, scavenger activity, and environmental hazards. Now approaching full capacity. Epe Landfill. Planned as a modern sanitary landfill to replace Olusosan. Designed with cells, drainage, and methane recovery systems, still underutilized due to access, lack of coordination, and low public awareness. Module 8. Reduce, reuse, recycle, 3 Rs, and circular economy. 3 Rs and the circular economy aim to minimize waste and promote sustainable resource use. The 3 Rs, reduce, reuse, and recycle, are core principles of sustainable waste management and are foundational to building a circular economy. A circular economy goes beyond simply managing waste. It redesigns the entire life cycle of products to ensure resources are used efficiently, recycled continually, and waste is minimized. Rather than the traditional take, make, dispose linear model, the circular economy promotes a closed-loop system where waste becomes a resource. This approach is essential in highly populated urban areas like Lagos, where landfills are overwhelmed and environmental degradation is rising. 1. Reduce waste minimization at source. The best way to manage waste is to prevent it from being created in the first place. How to reduce? O. Use reusable containers instead of single-use plastics. O. Buy in bulk to minimize packaging. O. Encourage manufacturers to design products with fewer materials. O. Discourage overconsumption and food waste. Policy levers. O. Plastic bag bans. O. Tax incentives for low-waste products. O. Corporate waste audits. LEGO's potential. With awareness campaigns and eco-conscious behavior, Lagosians can significantly reduce household waste, especially plastic packaging. 2. Reuse. Reusing means finding new uses for items that would otherwise be thrown away, thus extending their life and reducing demand for new resources. Examples: O. Refill water bottles, or cooking oil jugs. O. Repair and donate old clothes, electronics, and furniture. O. Repurpose glass jars for storage. O. Use shopping bags multiple times. Cultural context. In many Nigerian homes, reuse is already a habit. For example, using old margarine containers for food storage, or reusing plastic bags for market shopping. 3. Recycle. Recycling involves converting waste into new materials or products. Recyclable materials. O. Plastics bottles, containers. O. Paper and cardboard. O. Metals, aluminum, steel. O. Glass. Recycling process includes O. Collection and segregation. O. Cleaning and processing. O. Manufacturing into new products. O. Distribution and resale. Challenges in Lagos. O. Low segregation rates. O. Informal collection dominates. Scavengers. O. Lack of recycling plants in many LGAs. O. Market price fluctuations for recyclables. 4. Circular business models. These are business models designed to maximize resource use and minimize waste through repair, remanufacture, and recycling. Examples: O. Waste-to-wealth enterprises, for example, converting plastic into paving bricks. O. Subscription or sharing models, for example, refill stations. O. Product take-back schemes, for example, electronics return. O. Green packaging startups. Nigerian example. O. Wastecyclers rewards Lagos residents with points for separating and recycling plastic waste. O. Recycle Points partners with households and SMEs to collect recyclables. Local insight. In many markets like Oshodi and Mushin, scavengers, often young men with carts, collect bottles, metals, and plastics from household bins or dump sites. Though informal, they recover large amounts of recyclable materials, supply recycling companies with sorted plastics, help reduce the pressure on landfills, operate outside the formal system, often without safety gear or rights. Opportunity. Formalizing this sector can create green jobs, improve health and safety, and increase recycling rates. Module 9. Health, environmental, and social impacts of poor waste management. Ineffective waste handling has grave consequences. Poorly managed waste is more than just an eyesore. It is a serious threat to public health, environmental sustainability, and social well-being. When solid waste is not properly collected, treated, or disposed of, it creates breeding grounds for disease, pollutes land and water, releases harmful gases into the atmosphere, and affects the quality of life in affected communities. In Lagos, where thousands of tons of waste are generated daily and many neighborhoods lack reliable collection services, these impacts are particularly pronounced. 1. Disease spread. For example, cholera, malaria, typhoid. Accumulated waste provides ideal breeding grounds for vectors like mosquitoes, flies, and rats. Blocked drains filled with plastic waste lead to stagnant water, where mosquitoes breed and spread. Malaria. Decomposing food waste and poor sanitation increase the risk of cholera and typhoid outbreaks, especially in informal settlements and slums. Children playing near dump sites face daily exposure to bacteria and viruses. Lagos context. Periodic outbreaks of cholera have been traced back to waste-contaminated water sources, particularly in high-density suburbs like Ajagunle and Makoko. 2. air and water pollution, open burning of waste, especially plastics, and e-waste releases toxic fumes, dioxins, furans, into the air, contributing to respiratory illnesses. Waste dumped in waterways leads to pollution of surface and groundwater with harmful substances like lead, mercury, and coliform bacteria. Leachate from open dumps seeps into the soil, contaminating boreholes and natural water bodies. Lagos example. The proximity of Olusosun landfill to residential areas exposes thousands to polluted air daily. 3. Greenhouse gas, GHG. Emissions from dump sites. Decomposing organic waste in landfills produces methane, CH4, a greenhouse gas that is over 25 times more potent than carbon dioxide. In Lagos, the uncontrolled decay of food and organic waste at dump sites like Olusosun and Ipe significantly contributes to climate change. Global relevance. Poor waste management accounts for about 5% of global GHG emissions, mostly from methane and black carbon. 4. Loss of aesthetic and property value. Piles of uncollected waste diminish the visual appeal of neighborhoods and cities. This leads to declining real estate values and deters investment in both residential and commercial infrastructure. Tourists and potential investors are discouraged by dirty urban environments. Local example. Areas near dump sites like Abuleg-Egba and Oshodi often experience property devaluation due to odor, flies, and noise from scavengers. 5. Exposure of children and waste pickers to hazards. Many children in Lagos's poorer communities live, play, or work near dump sites and transfer stations. Waste pickers, most of whom are unregulated and without protective gear, are regularly exposed to sharp objects, broken glass, needles, toxic fumes, infections and skin diseases, physical assaults and unsafe work conditions. Ethical concern. Waste pickers provide an essential service but are often treated as invisible labor. Formalizing their work could improve safety, dignity, and livelihood. Module 10. Solid Waste Management Laws and Policies in Nigeria. Understanding legal frameworks ensures compliance and promotes best practices. Solid waste management in Nigeria is governed by environmental laws, national policies, and regulatory frameworks that are designed to ensure waste is handled in a safe, sustainable, and legally compliant manner. These laws cover the collection, treatment, disposal, and recycling of waste, and set the tone for both public and private sector behavior. However, the effectiveness of these regulations depends on how well they are enforced, and in many cases, this enforcement is lacking due to systemic challenges, such as funding gaps, institutional weakness, and lack of awareness. 1. NESRI Regulations. The National Environmental Standards and Regulations Enforcement Agency is the federal body responsible for enforcing environmental laws in Nigeria. Mandate includes setting and enforcing environmental standards, regulating waste handling, transportation, and disposal, conducting inspections and issuing fines, promoting compliance across states and sectors, relevant NESRI guidelines, National Environmental Sanitation and Waste Control Regulations, E-Waste Management Regulations, Hazardous Waste Control and Management Regulations. 2. Environmental Impact Assessment, EIA Act. The EIA Act mandates that any new project, especially in waste management, construction, or industrial development, must undergo an environmental impact assessment before approval. Why it matters. Prevents environmental harm before it happens. Ensures waste disposal methods and sites are safe. Involves community consultation and environmental planning. Common practice. Many projects skip or falsify EIA reports. Enforcement is inconsistent, especially in smaller developments. Example, waste dump sites have been established without proper EIA, leading to public health risks. 3. National Environmental Sanitation Policy. This policy provides a comprehensive framework for hygiene, sanitation, and public health, especially in urban areas. Key areas covered: O. Proper storage, collection, and disposal of waste. O. Urban slum, upgrading. O. Drainage clearing and flood prevention. O. Public toilet access and street cleanliness. Goal: promote nationwide environmental health by ensuring that every Nigerian lives in a clean and safe environment. Challenges: the policy lacks strong enforcement mechanisms at local government levels. 4. Guidelines on waste management by FMN, the Federal Ministry of Environment. The FMN also issues technical guidelines for the handling of municipal, hazardous, medical, and agricultural waste. Content of guidelines: O. Best practices in segregation and recycling. O. Standards for landfill operation. O. Licensing requirements for waste service providers. O. Provisions for community education. Reality check: these guidelines are not legally binding and are often ignored by operators who prioritize profit over compliance. Enforcement issues: weak institutional capacity. Most local government councils lack trained environmental officers, vehicles, or monitoring equipment to enforce laws effectively. Corruption: bribes are sometimes exchanged to bypass EIA processes or to avoid fines for illegal dumping. Overlapping jurisdictions: confusion between the roles of NESRI, FMNV, LAWMA, and state ministries often results in regulatory gaps and conflict. Lack of public awareness: many Nigerians are unaware of environmental laws and their personal responsibility for waste management, leading to low compliance. Urban-rural divide: while major cities may try to enforce regulations, many smaller towns and rural areas operate without any environmental oversight at all. Module 11, Lagos State Waste Management Authority, Roles and Regulations. LAWMA leads waste policy enforcement in Lagos. The Lagos State Waste Management Authority, LAWMA, is the principal government agency responsible for managing solid waste in Lagos State. As Nigeria's most populous and economically active state, Lagos generates thousands of tons of waste daily. LAWMA plays a critical role in ensuring urban cleanliness, environmental health, and sustainable waste practices across the state. LAWMA combines regulation, direct service delivery, private sector coordination, and public education to enforce Lagos State's waste management strategy. This module explores the agency's functions, collaborations, and recent initiatives aimed at addressing the city's growing waste challenges. 1. Licensing of private sector participants, PSPs. LAWMA regulates and issues operational licenses to private sector participants, PSPs, who are authorized to collect household, commercial, and industrial waste. Goal: decentralize waste collection, improve efficiency, and encourage private investment. System: PSPs are assigned to zones or neighborhoods to avoid overlaps and ensure accountability. Example: households are billed monthly based on waste volume and collection schedule, while PSPs report performance to LAWMA. 2. Street sweeping and public sanitation services. LAWMA employs a large workforce of street sweepers to maintain clean highways, markets, and public spaces in Lagos. Scope: federal and state roads, major intersections, and commercial hubs. Tools: mobile carts, mechanized sweepers, and uniforms for visibility and safety. Impact: reduces littering and stormwater blockage, especially during rainy seasons. 3. Public awareness and environmental education. LAWMA runs ongoing campaigns and school programs to educate Lagosians about proper waste disposal and the benefits of recycling. Channels: radio jingles, TV ads, social media outreach, market sensitization. Target groups: households, schools, markets, and religious centers. Initiative: LAWMA Academy educates young students about environmental hygiene and recycling. 4. Monitoring and enforcement of compliance. LAWMA officers conduct regular inspections and issue fines for illegal dumping, non-compliance with collection schedules, and unlicensed operations. Enforcement tools: mobile courts, warning notices, environmental marshals, sanctions, sealing of non-compliant facilities or legal prosecution. Example: businesses that fail to show LAWMA receipts or dump waste in canals face stiff penalties. Current initiatives: Blue Box Recycling Program, launched to promote household-level waste sorting and increase recycling rates in Lagos. Method: residents are given blue boxes to separate recyclables, plastic, paper, metals, from general waste. Collected recyclables are then processed by LAWMA's recycling partners. Benefit: reduces landfill pressure and boosts circular economy practices. Landfill charges for bulk waste generators. As part of a cost recovery model, LAWMA now charges institutions, for example hotels, malls, estates, for access to landfill services. Goal: improve landfill management, generate revenue, and reduce illegal dumping. Implementation: waste generators are billed based on weight and frequency of disposal. Sites like Olusosan and Epe are affected by this policy to support long-term sustainability. Module 12. Private sector participation and informal waste sector. Partnership with the private sector helps expand waste services and create jobs. The challenge of managing Lagos State's growing solid waste burden requires the active engagement of both the private and informal sectors. While public agencies like LAWMA provide oversight and direction, it is the private sector and informal actors that execute a significant portion of waste collection, recycling, and resource recovery services. This module highlights the roles these stakeholders play, their challenges, and efforts being made to better integrate them into the formal waste management system. 1. Private sector participation, PSP. Operators. Licensed by LAWMA, PSPs handle door-to-door waste collection in assigned zones. They operate under service agreements and bill residents or businesses directly. Role: frontline waste collectors for residential and commercial premises. Revenue model: monthly waste collection fees. Challenge: fee evasion by households, inadequate trucks, and irregular service delivery. 2. Recycling firms. These are formal businesses focused on recovering, processing, and reusing waste materials, such as plastics, metals, and paper. Operations: material recovery facilities, MRFs, buyback centers, and plastic shredding plants. Example firms: Westcyclers, Recycle Points, and Chanjadati. Value addition: promotes circular economy, reduces landfill pressure, and creates green jobs. 3. Informal waste sector. Often overlooked, this group consists of scavengers, cart pushers, and itinerant buyers who collect recyclables from dump sites, streets, and households. Role: recover high-value materials like PET bottles, aluminum cans, and scrap metal. Income: earn daily wages or small profits by selling to middlemen or recycling firms. Example: scavengers at Olusosan landfill are major contributors to plastic recovery in Lagos. Integration efforts. 1. Formalizing waste pickers. Some state and NGO-led initiatives aim to recognize and register informal waste workers, giving them ID cards, training, and safety equipment. Goal: improve worker dignity, traceability, and occupational safety. Challenge: social stigma and lack of documentation. 2. Creating recycling hubs. Urban recycling hubs and collection centers are being established to centralize recyclable waste and encourage partnerships between informal actors and formal firms. Function: drop-off points for segregated waste. Create value chains. Impact: enhances recycling efficiency and traceability. 3. Incentive schemes. Programs like Westcyclers operate reward-based models where households earn points for submitting recyclables. System: points can be converted into cash, airtime, or household goods. Impact: boosts citizen participation and recycling volumes. Fun fact: Wecyclers partners with brands like Coca-Cola to support Extended Producer Responsibility (EPR) goals. Example: Wecyclers Initiative. Wecyclers operates in various Lagos neighborhoods, collecting recyclables from homes using low-cost cargo bikes and tricycles. Residents are rewarded based on the weight and quality of materials submitted. Sustainability element encourages waste separation at source. Social benefit empowers low-income communities through incentives and job creation. Module 13. Community-based waste management approaches. Community involvement is critical for sustainable waste solutions. Why community engagement matters. Creates local ownership of waste problems and solutions. Helps bridge the gap between policy and practice. Enhances compliance and enforcement through peer influence. Supports behavioral change in waste segregation, reuse, and disposal. Line list. Key community-based strategies. 1. Environmental clubs in schools. These clubs educate students on proper waste handling, recycling, and climate action, making them ambassadors of change in their homes and communities. Activities: cleanup campaigns, recycling competitions, eco-literacy programs. Long-term goal: instill environmental consciousness in the next generation. Impact: children often influence parents' behavior through learned practices. 2. Community waste watch groups. Self-organized groups within neighborhoods monitor illegal dumping, promote cleanliness, and advocate with local authorities. Roles: reporting violators, organizing cleanup days, sensitizing neighbors. Support: sometimes trained or backed by local NGOs or LAMA. Example: in Ajegunle, residents formed a local task force to monitor drainage blockages caused by indiscriminate waste dumping. 3. House-to-house sensitization. Volunteers or health divided by environmental officers go door-to-door to educate residents about waste separation, collection schedules, and health impacts. Tools used: flyers, megaphones, posters, neighborhood meetings. Language consideration. Messaging is often done in local languages like Yoruba, Pidgin, or Igbo for better understanding. Result: personal interaction fosters trust and higher participation. 4. Faith-based and youth group partnerships. Religious institutions and youth movements are mobilized to integrate environmental messages into sermons, events, and outreach. Churches and mosques preach on cleanliness as a form of godliness. Youth groups organize environmental walks, street cleaning, and creative recycling events. Advantage: these institutions have influence, reach, and existing trust networks. Success example: estate-based waste cooperatives. In several medium to high-income estates across Lagos, such as in Lekki, Surulere, and Ikeja GRA, residents have formed cooperatives or associations to manage their waste independently of PSP operators. Features: O. Jointly hired waste collection services. O. Internal waste collection rules and penalties. O. Designated recycling days or drop-off points. Benefits: O. Increased reliability. O. Reduced costs through collective bargaining. O. Higher recycling rates. Case highlight: a housing estate in Lekki reportedly achieved 60% waste diversion through community-led recycling and composting efforts. Challenges to community approaches: lack of long-term funding or government support, volunteer fatigue, resistance to change in some neighborhoods, poor documentation and scaling of successful models. Module 14. Solid waste planning, monitoring, and data management. Data-driven decision-making leads to more effective programs. Effective waste management is no longer just about collecting and disposing of waste. It requires robust planning, continuous monitoring, and reliable data. This module introduces the core tools and principles that allow governments, agencies, and private sector actors to make informed, evidence-based decisions. Without credible data, it is difficult to measure performance, identify gaps, or optimize operations. Why planning and data matter. Enables accurate forecasting of waste generation and disposal needs. Facilitates budgeting and resource allocation. Improves route efficiency and fuel savings. Enhances accountability in service delivery. Supports policy evaluation and redesign. Core modern tools and concepts in waste planning. 1. Waste Management Information Systems. 2.6. A centralized database or software platform that tracks and manages all waste operations. From collection schedules to landfill inputs, functions, daily tonnage tracking, customer feedback recording, performance dashboards. Example software, WasteLogix, ReTrack Connect, or custom-built solutions. Benefit, real-time visibility into system operations and bottlenecks. 2. GPS tracking of collection trucks. Using GPS and telematics, waste trucks can be monitored live to ensure route compliance, reduce fuel theft, and minimize downtime. Outcomes. Better coverage and route optimization. Faster response to missed pickups. Reduced operational cost. In Lagos, some PSP trucks have started using GPS, but widespread adoption is still low. 3. Waste audit templates. Structured checklists and forms used to assess the quantity and composition of waste at various sources, households, markets, institutions. Audit types. Baseline audits, initial profile. Periodic performance reviews. Data collected. Type of waste, organic, plastic, etc. Weight divided by volume, frequency. Use case. Helps inform recycling potential and tailored waste strategies. 4. Key performance indicators. KPIs. KPIs provide measurable benchmarks to assess how well the waste management system is functioning. Common KPIs. % of households covered by collection. Waste diverted from landfill. Recycling rate. Customer complaint resolution time. Cost per ton collected. Goal. Identify inefficiencies and improve accountability of service providers. Lagos context and challenges. Despite its size and population, Lagos still relies heavily on manual systems, paper logs, physical registers, and visual inspection, which hinders timely data collection, creates inaccuracies, and loss of information, limits planning for future population growth and urban expansion. LAMA and local councils need digital transformation to scale operations effectively and align with smart city ambitions. Recommendations for improvement. 1. Digitize data collection across PSP operators and transfer stations. 2. Introduce standardized audit tools across LGAs. 3. Invest in GIS and GPS systems for truck monitoring. 4. Create a central Lagos waste dashboard accessible to stakeholders. 5. Partner with tech firms to build real-time reporting apps for residents. Module 15. Challenges and innovations in waste management in Nigeria. Key challenges in waste management. 1. Inadequate funding. Waste collection and disposal operations are expensive, yet most local governments allocate insufficient budgets. This affects truck maintenance, salaries, and service coverage. Example: delays in payment to PSP operators in Lagos reduce service motivation. 2. Infrastructure decay. Existing waste infrastructure such as landfills, transfer stations, and recycling plants is often poorly maintained or outdated, leading to inefficiencies and environmental hazards. Many landfills in Nigeria operate more like open dumps. 1. Poor public attitude. Many citizens still see waste as government business only. There's a low culture of source separation, recycling, or responsible disposal. Street littering and dumping in canals are still widespread, especially in urban slums. 2. Limited recycling facilities. While plastic and metal have some local recycling markets, other waste streams, for example, glass, e-waste, organic, are often not processed due to a lack of investment or technology. Only a few recycling companies exist for specialized materials. 3. Illegal dumping and cart pushers. Informal cart pushers operate without regulation, often dumping waste in unapproved areas. This worsens public health risks and undermines official PSP efforts. Example: nighttime illegal dumping on highways or canals in parts of Lagos mainland. Innovations: transforming the sector. Smart bins and mobile apps. Tech startups and government pilots have introduced sensor-equipped bins that notify when full and mobile apps that allow residents to request pickups or report illegal dumps. Example: Clean Lagos app initiative and trials in upscale neighborhoods. 2. Biogas digesters in markets. Some Nigerian markets now use biogas systems to convert organic waste into cooking gas, reducing landfill load and creating clean energy. Example: Ariaria Market in Aba and Mile 12 inches Lagos. Piloting small digesters. 3. Eco-bricks from plastic waste. Recovered plastic bottles are stuffed with other plastics to create eco-bricks used in building low-cost furniture, garden walls, or even classrooms. Organizations like African Cleanup Initiative promote this as a circular economy solution. 4. Youth-led waste-to-wealth startups. Young entrepreneurs across Nigeria are leading waste valorization efforts, turning waste into art, fashion, compost, or construction materials. Example: Ycyclers Lagos, Trash2Wealth, Abuja. Recycle Points and Green Axis. Challenge: innovation addressing it. Inadequate funding, public-private partnerships, and donor-backed projects. Infrastructure decay, modular and mobile recycling units. Poor public attitude, awareness campaigns and school eco-clubs. Limited recycling facilities, local material recovery hubs and mobile buyers. Illegal dumping, GPS tracking, smart bins, community watch apps. Module 16, case studies. Successful waste management in Lagos and beyond. 1. Lagos, Nigeria. Ycyclers Initiative. Overview. Ycyclers is a Lagos-based social enterprise that leverages technology and incentives to promote household recycling. Key features: uses cargo bicycles to collect recyclables from low-income neighborhoods. Households earn points, redeemable for goods, for recycling plastic bottles, cans, and other materials. Partners with corporate sponsors like Coca-Cola and Nestle to fund operations. Impact: increased participation in household recycling. Empowered women and youth through job creation. Diverted significant amounts of waste from landfills. Lesson: incentive-based recycling encourages community buy-in, especially in underserved areas. 2. Abuja FCT Waste Management Board, WMB. Overview. The Federal Capital Territory, FCT Waste Management Board, has structured a more formal waste collection model in Abuja. Key features: contracting of waste collection services to licensed private operators. Mandatory waste fees tied to property taxes. Use of transfer stations and compactors for efficiency. Impact: improved waste collection coverage in urban districts. Enhanced capacity for enforcement and revenue generation. Lesson: formalization and regulation of waste services can improve consistency and accountability. 3. Ibadan, Oyo State. Waste-to-Wealth Programs. Overview. Ibadan Southwest LGA. With the support of development partners, piloted composting and recycling hubs. Key features: organic waste from markets is processed into compost for urban farming. Training provided for local entrepreneurs in composting and plastic reuse. Impact: reduced organic waste going to open dumps. Promoted small-scale business opportunities from waste materials. Lesson: Localized composting and upcycling can reduce waste volumes and support agribusiness. 4. Kigali, Rwanda, a clean city model. Overview. Kigali has gained international acclaim for being one of Africa's cleanest cities, thanks to strict waste rules and civic culture. Key features. Monthly Umuganda community service days include street sweeping and drain clearing. Heavy fines for littering or illegal dumping. Structured public-private partnership for household waste collection. Impact. High public compliance and strong civic engagement. Cleaner streets and reduced health risks. Lesson. Policy backed by civic culture and public participation yields sustainable results. 5. Sao Paulo, Brazil. Waste Picker Integration Program. Overview. Sao Paulo integrated informal waste pickers, catadoras, into its municipal waste system. Key features. Waste cooperatives receive training, uniforms, and sorting facilities. Officially recognized and paid-for services rendered. Community education campaigns boosted recyclable separation at the source. Impact. Formal jobs for thousands of waste pickers. Increase in municipal recycling rate. Lesson. Recognizing and supporting the informal sector can drive inclusive, scalable progress. Summary of key takeaways. Case study. Success factor. Replicability in Nigeria. Recyclers. Incentivized recycling. High. Abuja. WMB. Structured privatization. Medium high. Ibadan waste. To wealth. Composting hubs. High. Kigali, Rwanda. Civic responsibility plus regulation. Medium. Sao Paulo. Informal sector integration. High. Conclusion. These case studies reveal that effective waste management is possible when public awareness is combined with infrastructure and policy enforcement. Communities and the private sector are active partners. Local innovations are supported and scaled with government or donor backing. Module 17. Action Planning. Designing a local waste management strategy. This final module empowers learners to apply everything they've learned throughout the course by developing a tailored waste management strategy. Steps to develop a local waste management plan. 1. Conduct a local waste audit. Identify the types, quantities, and sources of waste in the community. Use surveys, observation, and waste sampling techniques. Example metrics: daily waste volume, percentage of recyclables, organic content. 2. Engage stakeholders. Identify relevant actors: residents, landlords, waste pickers, PSPs, youth groups, local authorities. Hold town hall meetings, focus groups, or online surveys. Stakeholder buy-in increases compliance and solution sustainability. 3. Choose collection and treatment methods. Determine the most feasible waste collection system, door-to-door, communal bins, etc. Decide how waste will be handled: recycling, composting, incineration, or landfilling. Ensure alignment with existing municipal structures. For example, LAMA. 4. Identify funding sources. Budget for bins, trucks, awareness campaigns, and staff. Explore O local government funds, O community contributions or levies, O NGO or donor support, O CSR from private companies. 5. Draft a community sensitization program. Educate residents on segregation, composting, or recycling practices. Use posters, flyers, WhatsApp groups, town criers, radio jingles, and school programs. Include specific waste disposal rules and contact points. 6. Monitor, evaluate, and scale. Set clear indicators, for example, percent waste recycled, bins provided, response time. Conduct quarterly evaluations. Scale successful approaches to neighboring communities or similar environments. Conclusion. Assessment and certification.